Dabo's impersonation of Venables made the social media rounds. That was great.
Yeah, I looked up and I was like, there's Brent. I gave him a sideline pass. Yeah, I went over and I said, what do you think they're going to call right here on 2nd and 14? He's like, probably a screener draw. It's probably a screener draw. So I love Brent.
Brent was asked about it on Monday at his presser. What really showed a human side when he was talking about his son, the people at Clemson, as a father, what you want for your kids. I thought that was really interesting.
Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is OU Football Update, brought to you by Brahms.
All right, hi everybody, Toby with you. Welcome to another OU pod here on Oklahoma's own sports. First of 3 for you this week. It's OU Alabama week. Huge football game coming up Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Chris Williams joining me today. He has been on this Monday as we're taping this very busy down in Norman. We had a Brent Venables press conference today. Ben Arbuckle was there. Porter Moser spoke today. They got a game coming up tomorrow. You got player availability coming up after practice tonight. So there's a lot going on down in Norman. Chris, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm hanging out in the OU School of Journalism building, the famous balcony where the OU Daily, I think, was looking out and seeing who was taking the snaps is over here. I was a little starstruck walking up to it. This is cool down here. Yeah, fun day, loaded day in Norman today.
The infamous perch that Lincoln Riley got all upset about. Hey, as always, if you like our 3 times a week podcast, please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't change your viewing experience at all, but it does a world of good for those tracking how many people are watching us every week. So please like and subscribe. What was your biggest takeaway from what Ben Arbuckle and Brent Venables had to say today?
Yeah, a lot of respect for Alabama, which makes sense for who they've been, which makes sense for who they still are and what they're putting on tape. And I think it all starts with Ty Simpson. I think that was the big thing. And look, Alabama has incredible wide receivers, Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams, 2 of the best in the conference, maybe in the country. And then Ty Simpson has just done such a good job of getting them the ball. And it's funny, if you checked out after week 1, Toby, or didn't pay as close of attention, all you remember is, oh, Alabama's not good anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to fire DeBoer. No, this team has been on a tear. What is it, 8 straight wins? And I mean, offense has been cooking in the passing game. They've been doing a lot of good. Alabama is for real again this year.
They had a stretch of 4 weeks in a row where they beat a top 16 team. Yeah. Number 4 in the poll, number 4 in the college football playoff rankings. They are in position to be a contender yet again, a shocker for the national championship and the SEC title this year. But Oklahoma would love to ruin their plans, and I thought you did an excellent breakdown Sunday night on Ty Simpson. This matchup is intriguing, not too dissimilar from the Tennessee matchup, in that Alabama wants to try to beat you through the air. Mm-hmm. They want to try to beat you with the arm of Ty Simpson. Not a great running team. Bad, actually, on the year, trying to run the football. But they've been so good with the passing attack that they've been able to hold off all comers so far. But Simpson, heck of a player, isn't he?
Yeah, I was surprised, actually, because Alabama fans have been complaining about the run game, but I just assumed it was a little exaggeration. Maybe it's not where it has been. 119th in the country. I mean, it is almost non-existent at times, and that's really the only time the offense struggles is because it's so one-dimensional. But yeah, I had a blast breaking down film of Ty Simpson and both Arbuckle and Brent Venables talked about it. He's a coach's kid, and he just looks like a coach's kid in the way he plays. Everything is done the right way, the footwork, the way he has a good feel in the pocket. Toby, when pressure comes off the edge, he is one of the best you will ever see it. Stepping up in the pocket, but his eyes do not go downfield. He just feels the pressure and just keeps the play alive, and that's when they're hitting those deep crossers over the middle or just deep down the field. He has been very impressive. And like I mentioned earlier, the weapons that he's throwing to makes it even better because it's like they're going to get open if he has enough time to get them the ball.
He's got calm feet. John Mateer sometimes gets a little happy feet back there when the pressure starts to come in on him. Simpson's got real calm feet back there. that's the whole, a lot of things have to go right. But I think Oklahoma's going to make them one-dimensional. They've been pretty one-dimensional. Can Oklahoma rattle Ty Simpson? He's thrown one interception all season. And so when they get in third and long or obvious passing situations, can they rattle him or get to him or make him throw a bad ball? It's exactly what they did to Joey Aguilar. And Aguilar had thrown a few more interceptions than Simpson, but not many. And they were able to pick him off a couple of times, and you could tell he was rattled. So can they do the same? What about defensively? What do you think about Alabama on defense?
Yeah, they're aggressive. I think that side of the ball has actually been overlooked. They're impressive over there. They take the ball away as well as anybody in the SEC. They lead the SEC in takeaways and turnover margin, which turnover margin, that helps when your quarterback is throwing just one interception all season so far. But that defense, it's loaded with talent again, Toby. And you don't think of it as those Alabama defenses that were winning championships 9-6 back in the day, but they do. They still have a ton of talent on that side of the ball. And Arbuckle said it perfectly today. They like to make the quarterback feel chaos. They like to try to create that to make them discombobulated. There's been times where John Mateer's been his best in chaos because he's a playmaker. There's been times more recently than that where John Mateer's been a little, rattled by what's going on the defense. So how well he handles that could be the story of the game for the Oklahoma offense.
Yeah, that's his edge over Simpson. We mentioned Simpson probably calmer and better in the pocket, but when things break down, and what we saw from Tennessee, Mateer had his legs back. He had his explosiveness back. And his ability to make plays when the pocket collapses or in the called quarterback run game, I think is his edge. Very similar teams. What you just said about the Alabama defense, you could say the same thing about the Oklahoma defense. I wonder, I think if you're a Sooner fan, you hope a little bit you might be able to run the ball against these guys. They are not as good against the run as Oklahoma's been. There have been some teams that have been able to put some yards up against them, and we've seen this OU running game looks like it's coming on a little bit. Maybe the O-line is gelling. Maybe Xavier Robinson is getting in a groove. Certainly the addition of Mateer in the running game should help. So I think that's where you hope they can make some hay and maybe take the crowd out of a little bit if you can have some success running the football. Brent Venables went down he was asked about an interesting topic I thought at his press conference on Monday. I want to ask you about it next. But first, a word from our friends at Brahms.
It's time to enjoy the sweet taste of Brahms Strawberry Shortcake Sundae. Our creamy vanilla ice cream is nestled on top of Brahms fresh-baked golden bundt cakes with spoonfuls of delicious strawberry topping all around, complete with fluffy whipped cream and a cherry to create the perfect flavor combination. Strawberry goodness is waiting for you at Brahms.
What do you like on your Brahms burger, Chris?
Everything but the onions. And I tend to go overboard with mustard when it comes to burgers, so it's probably going to get me in trouble.
Big mustard guy. Big mustard guy.
Big mustard guy.
You like the jalapenos? I love jalapenos and Monterey Jack cheese. Yeah, spicier.
Get a little kick in there.
Brent Venables went to Clemson this weekend and watched Dabo and the Tigers and his son face Florida State. He was on the sidelines. Dabo's impersonation of Venables made the social media rounds. That was great. But Brent was asked about it on Monday at his presser, and what really showed a human side when he was talking about his son, the people at Clemson, as a father, what you want for your kids, all that. I thought that was really interesting. We don't see these coaches and players, administrators as real people sometimes, And it was, I thought, a fascinating look into a dad. He's got to win football games. We all get it. But he's also a dad who worries about his kids and wants to see him when he's got a bye week, just like all the rest of us, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it went beyond just it was cool to be able to watch and support. Because he was asked, okay, what were those conversations like when Brent left Clemson? And his son didn't come to Oklahoma with him, decided to stay at Clemson. And that's where he was talking about, selfishly, I would have loved to see my son every day, but we told him decisions like this are when you go from boyhood to manhood. You need to make this decision yourself, what's best for you. And he even said, you need to be following your dreams. This is my dream, to come to Oklahoma and be the head football coach. You need to continue to follow your dreams. And but it sounds, Dabo talked about Venables' son, T-Bone, he kept calling him. He called him one of the best leaders he's ever coached. He talked about how he's earned his place there, how he's earned the respect of everybody around him. And it was just really special, all that insight. And also to see Venables kind of running his household the same way he coaches, right? Yeah. A leader of men. He loves the development of men and challenging them to do difficult things and put themselves in difficult situations and come out the other side. Really cool. And I just have a hunch that T-Bone is going to be a pretty good football coach someday, too.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. He might be on the staff in the next couple of years. We'll see. OU basketball, quickly. They're going to play again Tuesday night, so we'll have more to comment on maybe in our midweek pod. They're going to take on Arkansas Pine Bluff at McCaslin Fieldhouse, one of my favorite games every year. I think this is the third or fourth year they've done this now, where they have a students-only game at McCaslin and the historic Fieldhouse. That'll be fun. But they are coming off a late-night Saturday night loss at Gonzaga. Worrisome at all, or just tough place to win, write it off and move on?
Worrisome until we see what happens next with this team. I would say worrisome because of the issues in the past with giving up offensive rebounds the past few seasons. It feels like every time there's a game like this, that's the story of the game, is the other team was getting offensive boards. Gonzaga ended up with 21 more shots than the Sooners. Of course they're going to win that game at home with 21 more shots. So how does this team respond? Nigel Pack, I mentioned it before that he was in his 12th or 13th year of college basketball on an earlier pod. I know it's actually year 6, but it's a guy like that where we say, okay, how can he lead this team now to say, yeah, we lost game 2. Our whole season is still in front of us. Plenty for us to go do to make this right, to improve, and to wake up from this.
I thought they got ambushed. Gonzaga did what they do when people come play them up there. That crowd was all over them. They hit shots early, and they got after them on the boards. Didn't help that Mo McGee got in early foul trouble. They needed him in that game. But OU looked a little like they were looking into the headlights, like a deer in headlights in the first half. I thought Moser did a good job calming them down. Second half, they played much better, especially defensively. And they figured out where they could score. Xavier Brown and Nigel Pack got after it. They figured out that Gonzaga couldn't stay in front of them, and they put up 39 points between them. And so I think they found out something about their team in this game. Mm-hmm. It's okay for those guys. They're big-time scorers. It's okay for those guys to be a little selfish once in a while, and they need them to score on this team. And Gonzaga is a little bit of a one-off in college basketball, and then they got 2 5s that are back to the basket true post guys in EK and Huff. You don't see that a lot in college basketball these days, Throw it to the big man and let him go to work back to the basket. You don't see that a lot. So we'll see if and when they do see it again this year, if they're better equipped. But I don't think I'd read too much into it. They got to be better defensively early. That's 2 straight games now to start the year where they've not been good at all defensively in the first half, and then Moser got them fixed at halftime. Even the opener that they won by 100 points, they were down early second half because the defense was not any good. But if they can do that and, sure some things up as far as taking care of the basketball, I think they're going to be okay. They got another good test coming up this Saturday when they go to South Dakota, to the Sanford Pentagon. They're going to play Nebraska up there. So battle of the Big Reds, that'll be another good look. Not that Pine Bluff won't give them a challenge, but they should win that game.
Yeah, especially McCaslin's going to be awesome. And Toby, with college basketball, always it's kind of been this way because of the one and dones, but especially now, you need to figure out playing with each other. They bring in 4 great transfers. Sure. You need to figure out how to play with each other. And you need to figure out what shots are the shots to be taken on each possession. I know Porter talked a lot about passing up a good look for a better look, and just figure stuff like that out. So not sounding the alarm as long as they respond. If the team comes out against Pine Bluff and looks similar, then start to get a little bit nervous.
All right, good job, Chris. Midweek, we'll talk about that game. We'll have more OU football and Alabama football to talk about. Alabama's worried about OU getting their signs. Join the party. Everybody's worried about that now. So that's coming at you on Wednesday here on Oklahoma's Own Sports. Until then, please like and subscribe. We'll see you then.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's Own digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.